Hi, hello, welcome to our English class. I am Mrs. Celestina Lawrence going to take the Unit 2 prose lesson, The Night the Ghost Got In. It's a humorous incident which was happened in 1917. The narrator conveys the topic in such a long conversation. Before that, just we see the characters of the incident. James Grover Thurber, the narrator; Herman, narrator's brother; narrator's mother, grandfather; the cops, those who are getting in the story. With the cops, few reporters are coming. Mr. and Mrs. Bodwell, the neighbor of Thurber, the narrator; Roy and father, narrator's father and narrator's brother, those who had gone to Indianapolis to work. They are expected at any time to come back home. So, these are the characters in the incident. It's a humorous story. Before we could go to the story, just see the glossary now. Hullabaloo, loud noise made by excited people. Patrolman, a watching police officer. Those who are coming around in the jeep at the night time or the daytime, whoever it is. Attic, a place inside the house. Sometimes it may not be seen by everyone. It is very narrow area. Slamming means shutting a door forcefully and loudly. That means with a loud noise closing a door. Gruffly means sadly. Rending means tearing to pieces in tension. Yank means pulled with a jerk. Indignant, showing anger. Holster, a holder made out of leather for carrying handgun. Handgun is holder. So, these are the glossary in this topic, and we are going to see the incident. I am going to narrate as it a story now. On the midnight, the time was 1:15 on November 17th. 1915. Thurber, the narrator, one who just stepped out of the bathtub, heard the footsteps walking rapidly around the dining table downstairs. From the light from the bathroom, he could see the faint shine of the plates. At first, he thought his father and his brother, who had gone to Indianapolis for the work, they had been returned. Then he thought it might be a burglar. So he was confused. He just went to his brother's room. After a few minutes, slowly he tiptoed to his brother's room. Herman. He woke up his brother, who was always feared for everything. He said that he could hear the footsteps rapidly. So, both brothers followed to the back staircase and they were watching who's moving around. The author had only bath towel around him. He wanted to go back to bed, so he gripped his brother's arm. Again, they could hear the footsteps circle around the dining room, but they could not see anything. No person around there. Herman rushed to his room due to fear. He slammed the door as we read just before that in glossary, slamming, slammed, shutting. He slammed the door, he shut the door with a loud noise. By hearing this loud noise, the mother got up, who was on the upstairs leaping. So, the author's mother woke up and she came out of the room. She yelled at both the brothers. What was going on? Why was the noise? They said, nothing, nothing. She asked about that running around downstairs. You are saying nothing, but why you are running here and there? She asked. They said, mother, it's a burglar. They whispered. She screamed, what? Burglar? Then they said, just keep silence. We'll call the police. So, the narrator called Herman and mother told them not to go down. They were planning to go down, but mother told them not to go down if they may fight. We shall call the police, she said. So, then she changed her idea. She flung a window of her bedroom which faced the bedroom of window of the neighbor. That means Mr. and Mrs. Bodwell's house. So what she said, she picked up a shoe and threw on the neighbor's window. The glass tickled, so the neighbor got up. Actually, the neighbor, Mr. and Mrs. Bodwell, is a retired engineer and is suffering with attacks. Moreover, in that area, most of the people are suffering with some sort of attacks. The time has gone around 2 o'clock now. Then she just peeped near the window. The Bodwell got annoyed. He said, we will sell this house. We will go to Peoria. My mother whispered to the Bodwell. That means the narrator's mother said slowly to the Bodwell, Mr. Bodwell, that some burglars are there. We wanted to say not the burglars but the ghost, because the narrator did not see any person in and around the kitchen, in the dining room. So he thought of that something different. That means the ghost was moving around the house. But Mr. Bodwell thought there are the burglars who went to his house. Then he called the police. Then he moved off from the scene. Mother took another shoe, thought of throwing again, and she did not do it, just to show some sort of fancy within her. The police were on hand. They came with Ford sedan in the car, many of them, and 2 on the motorcycle, and a patrol wagon, 8 in that, and few reporters. They came inside the campus. They wanted to open the door. No one ready to open because all were in the upstairs. So the policeman banging the front door. The flashlights gleams up everywhere. That means they were using the torch and checking out everywhere. They were between many houses. That means in the narrator's house and the Mr. Bodwell house. They were around moving and checking whether someone is inside. The policeman shouted saying that they are from headquarters, so that they can at least open the door for them. And they asked to open the door. The narrator wanted to go down and to open the door, but mother told not to do. So the burglar must have gun and may have shoot him. In that manner, she did not allow him to go down. Finally, the policeman broke the front door. The glasses are broken, the wood was broken, and they went around immediately and found none. Nobody was there. They caught the narrator and asked who was he, because he just wrapped a towel around him. Then the officer reported to mother, "Nobody inside the house, madam. Why did you call up to us? What is the mess going over on like this?" They inquired about how many people are there. Did you see any person who entered the house? How do they look like? All sorts of inquiry were going on. The cops opened the doors and closed. So they started searching intensively. They just went in all the rooms, opening the door, closing them, opening the cupboards, pushing the windows and tearing off the screens and pulling out all the articles from the shelves. The books were fallen down. All sorts of mess was going on over there. But none was found. One of the cops found a Siddha that Roy won in a tournament. When he was a small boy, he joined in a tournament and won the Siddha, the musical instrument of the old pattern. It was kept on the shelf. The Siddha was broken, but it was used for the guinea pig to sleep in that. That explanation was given by the narrator to the cop. The cop called the other cop, Mr. Joe, and shown the Siddha. One of the cops said, "No sign of anybody. That lady must be a hysteria patient." Hysteria means some sort of psychic problem, mental problem. So that through their imagination, they feel that everything comes in person or figures, something like. They say that they hear the voice. They say that they have seen the person here and there. But in natural, the reality, that is nothing like that. So that sort of mental problem was got as a hysteria patient. So one of the cops said the mother must be a hysteria patient. They all kept silence for a while. That means all the cops just were thinking about that. Then there was a creaking in the attic. I have already told the word attic, a space inside the house which is very interior, nobody could find easily. Okay. So there was a creaking sound, just opening the door from the attic. A cop, Joe, asked, "What's that?" 5 to 6 cops just surrounded near the door. Before the narrators could say that is my grandfather's room, all these cops went inside. Then the grandfather, who was thinking of the Stonewall Jackson, the immediate men, that means they were attacking people and giving trouble to people in that area. So then grandfather thought that sort of people have entered the house. So immediately he was in action. What he did, he just caught a policeman. He slapped him with his flat hand. Then he took the holster and gun from the police. He shot, keeping the gun on top, he shot for few times. So there was lot of smoke around the room. One policeman came by holding his shoulder with wound. Then the narrator, he said to the police, that is my grandpa, he might have mistaken you, that deserter from Medius army have come to our place. And he was trying to hide himself. That grandfather, after shooting, he just hid himself and closed the door, went to the bed again. One of the cops asked about the old man, but grandfather never told anything, just went to the bed and slept off. Meanwhile, the narrator told about the grandpa. He is such a old person. He thought of the deserter, that's why he has done this. I am sorry for that. I will give the gun back, return it tomorrow to your headquarters. Definitely I will come and give your gun, he promised them. And explained the other cop about the deserter. But they just kept quiet. The cops were upset because they did not find anyone inside the house. They poke here and there. That means with the gun they were starting to poke the boxes here and there, whether somebody is hiding or there. Then the reporter, a thin-faced whiskey man, looked at me with a mingled suspicion. That means the reporter started looking at me in a strange way, because when I came down, since the narrator says that when he came down from upstairs, since he was tying up only the towel, he ran to his mother's room, got his mother's gown, night gown, came down and mingled with all those noisy things. So looking at this Thabar, the narrator, the reporter, some sort of suspicion, he looked at him. So the narrator told them that they have seen ghosts. With all that confusion, they did not stop. The narrator told to the reporter that they have seen the ghost in their house. The reporter gazed at the narrator. The wounded cop said that he should take away my gun from your grandpa. But the narrator promised him to bring it for the next day. The narrator told the grandpa shot him by mistake, because mother was asking what was the miss going on down. She never came down at all. She was on the upstairs. When all the things were over, mother asked the narrator, Thabar, what was going on, what happened. The narrator told his mother that grandpa shot one of the policemen and he got wounded. Then she said, oh, so sad. That man was so nice looking young man. Nothing could have been done in such a way. It has happened. She felt sorry for the young policeman. Next day morning, the grandpa, as fresh as a daisy flower. You know, the daisy flower is the thick feathered, thick petals, fresh flower which blooms every day in the morning, looks very pretty. So, as if nothing was happened last night, the grandfather came for the breakfast and he had the breakfast with a lot of jokes. He acted that as if nothing was happened. They thought that Grandpa forgotten all about what was happened last night. While having his third cup of coffee, he glared at Herman, narrator's brother. He just stared at him. And the narrator asked about the cops last night. Then slowly they started asking him about the cops entered at their place last night. Then he demanded that. Then he complained about, no one was bothered about me. I am an old man. You never thought of keeping a bottle of water in my bedroom so that I have to strain myself to come in the midnight and search for the water in the dining room. Then finally they realized that the one who was around in the dining room was no one else but his grandfather. The confusion is now very cleared. So that was the story. The narrator narrates to us in such a manner with a lot of conversation in this topic. Very nice. Children, this is your time to now to go through the topic, read the lesson line by line, find out the words, learn the story, then you can learn the topic. So moral is, when we are hasty doing things, we make everything in a nasty manner. So this is a moral we are supposed to learn today. So don't be hurried, don't be hasty in taking a decision, because in the story nothing was happened such a ghost or like imagination. Only Grandpa who had came in the midnight for a bottle of water to drink. But these guys, they mistaken that ghost was moving around their house, and moreover they called the police, they disturbed the neighbors, and grandfather got frightened and he shot the policeman, got wounded, all sorts of nonsense were going on. So just think, when you are hasty, just stop yourself and think, decide yourself which is right, which is wrong, then you go for this step by step so that you won't commit any mistake such a manner. Okay children, I hope you have learned this lesson thoroughly. Now I am going to teach you antonyms for these words. Okay children, now shall we see the antonyms? Realize, misunderstand. Realize means understanding something. So opposite of that, misunderstand. Suspicion, opposite belief. That means doubt. So belief or trust. Grabbed means caught. Released, confused, cleared, caught, released, pointed, blunt, prevented, permitted, dared, feared, attack, protect, gruffly, cheerfully, rapidly, leisurely, ghost, angel. So now we have seen the synonyms, antonyms in this topic, and your homework is you are going to read the lesson, collect the points, summarize it and write it as your homework. Okay children, I hope you all enjoy this. The night the ghost got in. Have a great day. Thank you.